Hello, Sammy here, aka the Literary Pixie, lol. One of the organizers of the Los Feliz Writers Festival. And yes, wanted to update you on how the Los Feliz Neighborhood Cultural Affairs Committee went yesterday. Because that's where like the whole festival kind of developed and took place. And yeah, without that space, I don't think the festival would have ever come to fruition. So yesterday, the committee meets every month, and from 7:30 to whenever it ends, ideally around 9 at the Desert Rose in person. And so this past meeting, there were about 10-15 of us, and it ended at 9:22. Because we had a lot of new people and lots of great ideas. And so the first thing we talked about was the Los Feliz Writers Fest and how it went. And Derek, our poet laureate of Los Feliz, he was there and he presented his 5 ideas for the poet laureate position, which were super great. I think, it's a public event, so I'll link to all the notes, but he talked about doing kind of a poetry walking tour and hiding poem scavenger hunt around Los Feliz. He talked about doing a monthly poetry series and a little salon. And then, so he had low budget ideas and bigger budget ideas. So some of the bigger budget ideas were oh my god, I should just pull this up, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna. Where's his proposal? I know, I should just edit this, but maybe I will, maybe I won't. We're going for that DIY, real people doing stuff thing. Okay, I pulled it up. Okay, so in April for National Poetry Month, doing a coffee cup campaign and printing out poems by local writers and putting on stickers and then putting them on the paper coffee cups at all the coffee shops in Los Feliz, which is take a larger project. And then this idea, inspired by the West Hollywood Poet Laureate program, and basically called Love Lines Los Feliz, and again getting poetry and pictures of local writers and local poets and putting them on banners on the streets of Los Feliz. So when you drive down Hollywood Boulevard, now there's typically different schools marketing or festivals. It will be poetry by poets of Los Feliz. Putting that together and, getting a committee together to select what poems go up and that whole jam. And then this is the larger high budget idea, but called Dial a Poem, Poems to Boost Your Spirit. And so, Derek shared that he was in Bisbee, Arizona, and they did this there, which is super cool. And it's a phone booth, and you go in the phone booth and there's a phone, and then you there's a phone book with hundreds of numbers, and it whatever you're feeling, you're I'm feeling sad, I want a sad poem, and you turn to the page and it tells you to put the number in, and you put the number in the phone, and then a poem is read by the poet through the phone, and it's all local poets and their poems, and it's all organized into this phone book. The whole community can use it, and it's just a art piece, public on the streets that anyone can use. Brian at the event shared that there is a phone, an old phone booth that's just sitting there, I think on Hollywood Boulevard, which is so cool. So these are the 5 events or ideas, poetry ideas that Derek proposed. So that's super cool. Oh my god, this is a 5-minute long video. But also important information. Okay. So yeah, then we talked about the festival and like the engagement around it, and that was super exciting. And then we talked about the Disney Brothers block party, which is happening September 21st. And like we're gonna be celebrating Pluto, and there's gonna be Disney people there, and it's gonna be super great. And it's the second year, and there'll be music and a dog parade and all like the cool stuff. So that was talked about. And then we talked about Porch Fest, which, yeah, we're hosting a porch out, and also Sammy, I'm now, I'm helping Ellen with the Instagram, and yeah, doing those posts, and so, yeah, super excited about that, getting porches, getting hosts, Phil, who's like an incredible host who hosted the LFIA Viva Los Feliz like series. He suggested like having hosts, not like porch hosts, but like people who host and welcome people into the space and organize the lineup. And Steve, who hosted our Voice of Los Feliz event that Phil was gonna host, because he is the podcaster of the Voice of Los Feliz. And yeah, they were both there, and so yeah, hopefully we can get hosts, and that was talked about, and we're just like, yeah, trying to find performers. Right now we have about 80 performers, and yeah, ideally 120, although I was like, let's find 200, but, cause yeah, the Porch Fest is any type of art, and you don't have to live in Los Feliz to participate. You know, you could travel in from anywhere in the world if you want to perform for free for the community at this festival. And yeah, also we're partnering with the Silver Lake Neighborhood Council, the East Hollywood Neighborhood Council, and it's also happening in Mar Vista and Culver. So like this is like an LA, porches event. So yeah, so the more the merrier. Wow, this is a long video. I'm so sorry. But this is only like 7 minutes, and that that our committee met for an 7:30 to 9:22, so that's almost 2 hours, and we had to like get there. So watching just like a 10-minute-ish video is a really condensed experience of them. So yeah, that was Porch Fest. And then we talked about tabling at the farmer's market, because yeah, Los Feliz has a farmer's market every Friday from 4 to 8 p.m. So we talked about that. And then we also talked about, now I'm getting the agenda up, the holiday extravaganza. So December 7th, we have an annual like holiday extravaganza with like people singing and a market. And then we talked about the Los Feliz Film Festival that's coming up, the fruit runs, which is super awesome. And then yeah, Alexandra's starting a movie screening event. So it's like 4 films that are shared like seasonally, that are family friendly and focused about like climate activism. That's kind of the central idea for this year at least. Although we could just go on and on about all the different things that need to be done in Los Angeles for climate activism, because yeah, that's a super important issue, and given what like one of the core reasons for the fires has to do with like climate change. And yes, and just like the trash busters who are in Los Feliz. I mean, those are trash busters of Los Feliz at Silver Lake Echo Park. So clearly, like, people just throwing trash is an issue here. And like that we have a lot of trash to throw. So how can we like have more sustainable businesses, more sustainable with like getting composting involved, right? And we have Griffith Park and the natural plant restoration, and so many farm to table like restaurants and grocery stores. So like with Lazy Acres and Lessons, like there's just so many ways and so that we can like take this. And yeah, we really want to Alexandra, like the vision, and yeah, we're collabing on it, which I'm excited about. But yeah, really like not only just watching a movie, but there's a project involved where we have activists and a local nonprofit, and we talk about like, this is what you can do, and we do it together at the event, and we're like, if you want to keep doing this kind of activism, sign up now. So like, yeah, we can get people engaged in doing the work and making it fun and in community, and in building these like roots, and then yeah, finding a film that kind of complements the activism or like shed some light on it. And yeah, we were thinking, Alexandra with like 2 narrative films and 2 documentaries, just to give some spice to it, I don't know. Okay, but anyhow, and that was kind of like how we finished off the evening. And then some of us went to Tabula Rasa, where Sunflower Station Press is doing their sunflower readings. That happens once a month. And yeah, Derek Brown, our poet laureate, read there, as well as like some other really amazing writers and poets. And yeah, we're such a big fan of Sunflower Station Press. So that was like super fun. So that was like the after party for the Cultural Affairs Committee meeting, because every committee meeting needs an after party. So that was super great. And yeah, that's so yeah, really excited about like what's going on. And if you want to get involved, like, yeah, message us. And because yeah, everyone has a role to play, and everyone has, gifts and talents and something to share. And yeah, like, yeah, we want to get to know you, and like, yeah, we're creating this like writers community. But yeah, like centered around like in activism. Like, this is our neighborhood. What do we want? Like, what's your dream neighborhood like? And let's make it happen, and how can we all live our dreams within this neighborhood and create space for that? There is enough space. There's enough time. There's enough energy. There's enough money. There's enough space. Like, I believe that this is true, and like, we're gonna make it happen. And yeah, taking back our going hyper local, because yeah, the macro situation that we're in really can make at least me feel incredibly powerless and overwhelmed, because the people in power, the people who represent us, are really far away, and they're really hard to like get to know, to build deep, meaningful, trusting relationships. And that's really important for representation and advocacy. And yeah, and so while that is, just like clear logistical reasons, it's harder to develop those relationships when one person is representing like millions of people and has control of billions of dollars. But in the neighborhood council, Los Feliz is about 40,000 people, and the neighborhood council gets $28,000 from the city to put on whatever the community wants and to support community events. And it's not that much money. It used to be more, but yeah, they keep cutting the budget on that. Partially because neighborhood councils aren't spending it, so why would they give that money? But also because, the city's like doesn't have money. Because, for a variety of reasons that we could go into. In person, right, with people in the local neighborhood who you can build and get to know as humans and people. So this ended up being like 15 minutes. And I'm not sorry about that, because this is super important information, and I want to, we're in the Okay, I'm just making noises now. I'm gonna end this off.